Alright, so FREYR is coming out on Global today, and I wanted to make a video basically showing off just him ult rushing because I didn't do that yet. And, you know, he's a very powerful character. I did make a video saying that I'm skipping him on Global, on my free-to-play account. I think a lot of people took that as me saying that he's bad, or stuff like that, and it's actually not. Just people don't hear me. On the actual video, I actually really like this guy. I think he's really good, and he looks really cool. That's also a major factor. I think the character's looks do matter. But, you know, I think that for the role that he is meant to fulfill, there's going to be like a better character for it. So I didn't want to waste my gems. Oh, let me do this. Shit. I didn't want to waste my gems right now, and then hopefully pull him on the following Ragnarok banner. But I really like this guy. I think that his design is really cool. If you haven't played the story yet, so the story is already out on Global. I'm gonna spoil the story of Ragnarok a little bit, but this video is coming out hours after, so if you haven't played it yet, you don't care. He's sick, right? And clearly his sister Freya is working towards finding a cure for his sickness. That's what I gathered from the Japanese version. I'm gonna play the global version later today on stream. I wanna actually read. I would love to get like a following version of him that's actually like him at full power, because the version that we have right now is him sick and like weak. And essentially, if this is the weak version of him and he's so sick, or sick in terms of like cool, and he's so cool, I really wonder, I'm just gonna waste this, it's fine. I really wonder how he would look like, because you can see him coughing there, right? At like his peak, per se, right? So yeah, he has death ult, so he always has like numbers looking like that. He hits one for like 450k. And then, I mean, this wasn't a super tanky team with Valenti and Red Skinny King too. Hits one for 450k, and then, you know, the second one gets ass blasted. You've seen the one. I'm surprised it took them so long to get another character with a Death ultimate. I guess Death is just really powerful, because you're essentially, you know, doubling down on the damage. But, you know, let me do an attack with him just before ulting. You know, in terms of like ulting, like, I don't know, King's Shield, for example. Death doesn't do additional damage to the initial damage, so it's not that powerful in that sense. So it's actually, you know, it is very powerful. It's just really, I think Death is a much more cool type of ultimate than most ultimates, right? Especially for the Demonic Beast battles. Like, the one's ultimate is so good. And so, obviously, this guy's ultimate is going to be very good too, right? Just the one ultimate hitting a damage cap, especially with damage caps now, right? Hitting a damage cap and then instantly hitting another damage cap because of the Death ultimate is just so satisfying. Just so satisfying. Yeah, I just mentioned that because I don't want people to think I don't like him, because I really do. It's just that obviously as a free-to-play, summoning on every single banner that comes out is not a good idea. So you need to like be smart at what banners you're picking and choosing when summoning. And, you know, that's essentially what I'm hoping to do with my free-to-play account, is to always be on top of the baits, you know? Because this guy, although he's like the jack of all trades, right? He's really powerful for Bird, he's really powerful for Deer, and the new boss. Like, he's good for all three of the fights. But he is not the character that carries you in any of those, if that makes any sense, right? Oh, look at this. He removes stances. Yes. Let's remove the DN stance. And then we ult the Liz. Move stance, ult Liz. Because I think Liz is more problematic. With her passive heal, it always catches you off guard, I feel like. Ha? Was my Margaret disabled? Oh. What was that, Margaret? Well, I guess the Death ultimate will be necessary after all. Jeez. Never mind. Maybe I should have ulted the end. Should have removed the stance with the damage reduction and ulted on the end, I suppose. Can't even remove ultimate gauge. I'm still gonna def ult her. And then remove the ultimate gauge from the end. Because I think it will kill, then the death will go to someone else afterwards. Maybe, I mean, the Liz is very tanky. But it did. Then 346 go to someone else. It was the end. Okay. I don't know if I would recommend using ult rush with him. I just really like seeing his ultimate because, again, it's one of my favorite ult abilities. There's no special increase of damage and no debuff or anything. It's just damage. You do damage and then damage happens again. There's no... there's no... you know, intricacy with this. It's just ooga booga, big damage. Now let's do the AoE here. I want to do damage with him with his cleave card. Cleave is a ability I do like. The only thing I really dislike about cleave is that because it doesn't crit, it's just not satisfying. Like, look. Like, all things considered, that was good damage. 120k level 1 on a team like this that's not really boosting him. The only boost he's getting is obviously Margaret. Okay, actually Green Merlin in the back is boosting his damage because it's unknown. And I have the Holy Relic, of course. But, you know, other than that, in terms of teams, that's not the biggest boost you can get, right? Let's, I would ult with the N, but the one thing that you learn about the N is that having her with full ultimate gauge is so useful, because you can remove ultimate gauge and her attacks are so powerful. Like, that level 1, obviously her passive also helps, but because she has high ultimate gauge too, it just does so much damage. Yeah, but go on. Obviously as well, my FREYR is giving stats to my characters here. Like the, both my characters have extra 10% all stats. Like here, from this. Which I really liked. I thought they were going to restrict that passive to PvE only. I'm glad they didn't. I am very glad they didn't. That would have been kind of unfortunate if they did. Yeah, 103, like that's level 3 Margaret's damage reduction. Type disadvantage, he still hits for 1, that's unfortunate. If I had a stance with the end, it would have killed. That's unfortunate. He still hits for that much. I think that's pretty impressive for me. I do really hope I pull him on the next banner though. If I don't, I'll be very sad. Again, talking about the free-to-play global account. I'm hoping next Ragnarok banner is actually the fire guy, the tier. People have been hoping it's Freya, his sister. I hope it's actually the fire guy. I really like him. And I was very sad that we didn't get him with Jormungandr. That was very unfortunate. But if we get him, and then FREYR is obviously in the banner, then we end up getting the opportunity to pull him again. And obviously, if the fire guy is good, is the character that makes the new wolves easy, that'll be good too. I mean, I'm not very interested in doing the wolves, to be honest, in like my non-whale account, because like the relics are for Dro and Scotty. Like I like Scotty, I really like Scotty, right? So the most exciting characters. It's like, it's not demons, you know. It's not like Demon Melee. If they dropped Demon Melee as the first batch on the new demonic beast, then I would have been very, you know, interested. But yeah. Okay, he sealed me. Let's go for the Merlin so he doesn't attack seal me again. I'm gonna waste this card. This card is a very weak card. Unless you're removing stances, is a very weak card. The multiplier is not very good. And just in general, it's not a very good card, so keeping it is not very worth, to be honest. Oh my god, Merlin throwing me a link. It's okay. We will remove the ultimate gauge. So let's do this. Then we end up pushing both ults. It's gonna be very hard for him to take care of both. Now we'll remove his ultimate gauge too. Oh, he can't take care of the ultimate gauge because Gaffer is disabled. Never mind. Never mind. I mean, he can't kill. Like, again, my team is relatively tanky as well because we have the damage reduction from Margaret. And he is giving himself stats right now. But next turn... No, he's already giving the stats to everyone. He gave the 5% already. Never mind. Yeah, there's not much he can do here at this point. Probably gonna ult with FREYR on Gaffer and let the Death ult do damage to someone else. That'll be probably the best. That's not gonna do anything because you're disabled by Margaret's ultimate. Probably gonna cleanse that show just in case, so I can maybe crit. Never mind, I would have loved to see that ultimate. You forget that Margaret without some stacks doesn't really do that much damage. Remember when Margaret was like #1 character for damage? Good times. Alright, let's do this. Then stance up. And then we're gonna ult with him on remove for sure. Because we're gonna remove the stance. He knew! He knew! That's hilarious. He saw that I combined cards and I used the cleave card, so clearly my other card was the remove stance. Next time I'll just move both and not use any cards. So they don't know. Is the cleave card the remove stance? Who knows? No! Going for my boy! That is nah, yeah, he's not gonna survive next turn. That's unfortunate. Well, it is what it is. Unless he has no more... He has an AoE, he has Liz's. Nah, there's nothing you can do for him. That sucks. I mean, I still won. Like, his team doesn't have much ult control, so I won because of DN, but I want to ult with him. I don't care for DN. Maybe he does... Maybe the Liz AoE is very weak and won't kill. Let's see. But then also, I didn't get the ult, but... You know. I wanted to go for the win, so... Nah, he's gonna... Oh! No double AoE, okay. No! Oh, he did survive. He has a lot of lifesteal. No! God damn it. Here, last one. Aww. No ult for him. That sucks. Well... Oh, I lost. Yeah, I lost. There's actually nothing I can do. Zero things I can do. Because he went second and he has ultimate ult food. Nothing I can do. It is what it is. When you're ult rushing, you wanna go second. Because then you have the extra ult food. Because like here, he can push 2 ults. Like I had to push the end because she got the extra card, right? That's the worst case scenario, is getting the end's extra card. Because now he can remove my ultimate gauge of his DN. That is unfortunate. And he can just do that. Okay, let's I mean, we could still win. It's very unlikely, but we could. Very unlikely. Let's go for... blue card. I'll do this attack card. And then do this. Yeah, I should have done better preparations as well. Could have... I mean, if I had got an extra card for him, I could have pushed both ults. But I didn't, so... It is what it is. Just hope that he doesn't have an extra DN card. He does have an extra DN card. It'd be like that. Mm-hmm. Can't even remove stances in next turn. Unless he doesn't have a 6/6 Margaret, which I highly doubt it. Oh, well. He does. I'll play one more then, because this one, that was just actually... When you do like an ult rush and you go first against someone that's also ult rushing, you instantly lost. That's the same thing that was with Ban, when Ban was popular. I mean, Ban is still popular as a 4th. I see Ban's 4th all the time. I don't see him anymore on the actual field these days. When Ban's was like the only thing you would see, that was the same thing. Like if you went first with Ban, you just lost. Margaret Gaffer. Again. No, the one we faced was Blue Merlin Gaffer. Never mind. We can push a ult for our boy. He can't really stop us from ulting or anything. So we're gonna get the... he didn't seal Margaret. I'm gonna blue card it for Margaret now. Because he's probably gonna seal it next turn. So this is the game plan here. We blue card it for Margaret. Then we stance up. We combine cards with FREYR. I could have actually... No, okay, I couldn't... I was gonna say I could have like not pushed the ultimate so he wouldn't just get scared off. He could seal my ult, let's see. Oh, he got lucky. Okay, he got lucky, he can seal ult. Then I lost. It's what it is. Nothing I can do, he just simply got the seal and there's nothing you can do about that. It is what it is, man. It's the Grand Cross RNG. Nothing I can do. I just lost again because he sealed my ultimate. It is what it is. Gaffer is really good, man. I've been loving to use Gaffer in PvP. Because Gaffer, you know, the level 2 CO is very powerful. I mean, could I still ult with him? Let's see. Maybe I can. My DN's gone though. No, there's no way he has another level 2 CO. Okay, I was about to say. He did that to get another stack. The end, goodbye. Oh, never mind. Oh, goodbye. We don't have death, but I think we can still kill. Let's see. Death is not gonna work though. Let's see. That will probably kill. I don't think Liz dies though, because she probably has Tormio Link. Yep. It's like, yeah, he's disabled, but the actual like initial damage from the ult is so high. Because the multiplier is so high that it doesn't even matter, right? I mean, if we weren't disabled by the Margaret ult, then would have been able to actually kill someone else here as well. That would have been nice, but it is what it is. Well, I like his ultimate. Obviously, it's not as good as, like, Rimuru. Like, Rimuru's ultimate, it's a different story, right? At 3/6, you one-shot everyone. But I like Death ult. I like Ooga Booga. No, you know, nothing crazy behind it. It's just damage. That's why I like. Don't kill Merlin, please. He knows. He knows. Smart.